Hey, Facebook. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. It's your girl, Tamara Zantel, and I am super excited to be here with you for another episode of the Raising a Mogul TV show and podcast. And once again, you always know I have the dopest and most amazing family guests. Usually it's men, women, parent managers, some of us that are raising young moguls, those of us that are doing things that are amazing for kids. Things I always try to bring things to you that are relevant, right? Relevant to our community, to the nurturing the hearts and minds of young people, things that are going to help us, get to our next level, expand our mindset so that we can kind of figure out what's going on around us. The interwebs right now and probably forever is so loud. There's so many distractions, just so much going on. You don't really know who to listen to. You don't really know, who to trust and what's happening around you. So I take it upon myself to bring you guys the best of the best of the best people with the most amazing integrity, the most amazing platforms, jobs, businesses and products and services so that you can connect with them, right? So today is no different. I want to introduce you to Miss Audrey Hines. She is the author of Hair with Flair. She's also raising two adventurous kids with her husband of 7 years. Her children, they teach her patience, flexibility, and immeasurable love. Like how, patience, right? And flexibility. We know all about that as parent managers. As an educator, Audrey firmly believes in living life on purpose and pouring positive messages into our youth. Now that her two little ones have grown a little bit, she's found herself drawn back to her original baby, which is writing, which is what we're talking about today. I already gave you a sneak peek. So, with her book, Hair with Flair, Audrey's goal is to spark a confidence movement that encourages our youth to embrace and celebrate themselves just as they are. She's also the CEO of Parker & Co. Press, a publishing company that focuses on publishing children's picture and early reader books. And she's going to tell us all about that. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her family and how it is, running a publishing company, being a multiple author, being a wife, a mother of two adventurous kids, and all that good stuff. So I want to go ahead and welcome you. Hey. Oh, hold on. I think I got you on mute. There we go. Hey, there you are.
How are you?
I am super duper. Thank you so much for saying yes to the invitation.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to it all week long.
Yay, I'm excited. So listen, let's jump right in. So I already gave on my page, and also in my community, the Raising Mogul community, I gave my people a little sneak peek and told them we're talking about books and publishing. So like I said, there's so much noise, so much going on about books and publishing. Does my child need a book? Should I write a book? What should I do with the book I already wrote? So tell us a little bit how you got into this and when did you first fall in love with writing?
Absolutely. I fell in love with writing as a child. So naturally, it was something that continued throughout my adulthood. I always journaled. I always had a diary. And when I became a mom, I found myself at a place where I just felt so busy. And I just felt I didn't have time to do the things that I loved and the time to do the things that were most purposeful for me. And one day I made a decision and made a commitment to myself after attending a writer's event that I was going to get back to my first love. I decided that I couldn't show my children how to be CEOs and how to be purposeful and how to serve others, because for me, writing serves others through God. And once I got to that point in life, I just decided that there was no stopping me and that I was going to write my children's books.
That's amazing. I love it. So publishing on purpose. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. That's awesome. So I was just sharing the video out. So I see we have some people already joining us. Hello, everyone. Make sure you, those of you that are watching, say hey to Audrey. Also, please share this video out. I know so many of you and that are watching have either published a book, you're in a process of writing a book, you've been a co-author in a book. many of us are connected by books, right? So tell us how, those of you that are watching, drop the name of your book, right? And if you're a first time, second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time author, brag about it a little bit in the comments. And I'm going to come back and if you guys think of any questions for Audrey Hines about her publishing company or anything, just drop them in the comments. Okay. So listen, I love it. And I love that you're using your publishing company and your love for writing as an example for your children, right? So you can let them know what this world of entrepreneurship is like. So tell us a little bit about the process of, going from being a writer to actually now owning your own publishing company so that you can help other people, live their dreams as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tamara, the one thing that I found that I love more than writing myself is helping others. When once my book Here with Flair started getting some traction, I had more and more people reaching out to me, trying to figure out how can I work with you? What have you been doing? And, at that point, my publishing company was born. And I decided to work with a few select individuals and it's going wonderful. It's going great. And we have weekly conference calls. We check in. And at the beginning, I, wanted to find out what their motivation was, because again, writing is something I'm very passionate about. So I wasn't just about putting anything out there, especially not to children. It was, really important to me what messages were being put out there. So the folks that I have coming down the pike, I'm so excited for them. And it's been a journey. I have to be honest. I'm still growing. I'm still learning, but it is definitely something that's in my blood and that's not going away. It's something that I'll be doing for years to come.
I love it. So writing children's books. Why? Tell me why children's books.
Can I just be honest? Can I just be
candid? Yes.
Girl, I can't get away from them. I have two of my own. I work at the school as an instructional aide. They're just all around me. My husband and I have been volunteers for 5 years now. So wow. It really just seemed like a really natural decision. It was something that's been in my heart for a long time. And sitting down to write just came so organic, and coming up with the story was just so natural that I was like, okay, God, this is clearly what you want me to do. I'm finally going to listen.
I love that. And I feel like, and I wrote this once again on my page earlier today when I gave everyone a sneak peek of what we're going to talk about. And I was saying how I feel like it's an extra sense of responsibility when you write for children, because there's a possibility you could become a part of their young memories, so a lot of adults today, when they talk about even, motivational speakers or people that are, when you hear people talking on stages from, across the world, they remember story time. They remember the first book they read or the first mystery or the whatever, there's always a story attached to a book that a child has read, so I think it's very important. And earlier today, I was also looking at your page when I was checking up on you. I was like, you were giving some tips on the process of, writing a children's book. Can you share a little something with our people that are watching? Anybody out there that wants to write a children's book, or is considering becoming an author or getting ready to write your next book, grab a pen real quick.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I personally look for is a person's theme. What is your theme? What is the message that you want to share? Is it kindness? Is it friendship? Is it confidence? Is it anti-bullying? What is the message that you want to share and bring into the homes, into the libraries, into the daycares, into the schools, and into the minds and hearts of children? Because like you said, story time is definitely one of the most memorable things of a childhood. There are so many stories that my mom read to me when I was younger, and I held on to them. I still remember them. So theme is definitely going to be important. And then your setting. Where exactly is your book taking place? How is the child going to be able to identify with it? Why is it going to get them excited? The next thing I focus on are your characters. What makes them unique? What makes them relatable? What makes them believable? The next thing that I tend to focus on after the setting and the theme and the characters, I like to know, what is your conflict? So with early reader books, usually children are at a place where they kind of like to problem solve. In early reader, I mean, we're talking anywhere from 2 to about 8 or 9 years old. So what is that, excuse me, what is that mystery that you're going to give for the child? What is that conflict that you're going to give for the child? In that video that you're referencing, I used the video or used the story Little Red Riding Hood. In that one, the problem was the wolf was dressed like the grandmother. So solved, and that's the last piece of it, actually solving the conflict, because kids expect fairness. Kids expect that fairy tale ending, so we have to make sure that we deliver that for them, and that the narrative is something that they're going to find uplifting and exciting and give them that hoorah moment at the end. So generally, that's a snippet of what I look for in a great children's book.
That's really interesting. I wonder if, I feel like now, so I don't know anything about writing children's books, but I know that a couple people that I've spoken to whose children actually want to write a book, I feel like the first thing they go to is the illustrator. I need an illustrator. My daughter wants to write a book. I need an illustrator. Do you find that, or is that unique?
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. The illustrator piece now brings the story to life. So that makes it exciting. So when you involve an illustrator, to most people, it makes it real. So it makes it more tangible. The reality is there's so many steps before you get to that place. I was that exact same author. I could not wait to get my illustrations. And when I got the first one, listen, I just about cried. I was so excited. I couldn't focus anymore for the rest of the day. I'm walking around showing everybody I possibly could. And, you know, so that is a very exciting moment. But before you get there, you definitely want to, let me back up even further, you want to start with an outline. So you want to, and those things that I just gave, those key pieces of information earlier, that's going to be a general outline, a character profile, a theme, a setting, all of those details. You want to make sure that you encompass in your story to make it a great story, to make it a story that's going to withstand the test of time. Nowadays, people are publishing books every 5 minutes. So, you know, Ingram Spark and KDP and the Amazon publishing company, you can just upload a book at any point, and it doesn't have to have any merit to it. It doesn't have to have any substance to it. So you don't want to fall in that trap. You really want to do it in the right order, meaning taking your time, making sure that you have a great outline and that you take care of all those key pieces and that you get your book edited. You cannot skip that piece, even for a children's book.
I was just about to ask that. I was going to say, even for a children's book, and I asked out of ignorance, because I'm sure a lot of people are like, it's a kid's book. I mean, you know, it's a first grader going to read it. What's the big deal?
So here's the thing. Those are the most important ones that you want to have edited, because so you're going to have that parent-child experience, right? Or that teacher-child experience, or just the child independently reading the book. So me as a parent, if I'm reading my book to my child, if I'm reading your book to my child and I see that it's grammatically incorrect, I see that things just aren't as they should be, I'm not going to trust you again to purchase your work anymore. I mean, and if you want to go even deeper than that, if you want to get visits to the school, if you want to do story time at libraries, if you want a teacher reading your book aloud, it has to be correct.
Exactly. That makes complete sense.
Yeah, think beyond the book. Think beyond just the bookshelf at your house, and think as broad as you possibly can. And if you think that way, then you're definitely going to want to have it edited. But the good news is, once you get past that editing piece, you are off to illustrations, and of course, that really, you know, it brings the vision to life. So that's the exciting piece.
I'm listening to you speak, and it almost sounds like to me that writing for children, it could be actually more difficult than writing for adults in a way, because like kids are so vivid in in their imaginations. It's like the expectation is that this is going to be amazing. I have two grandbeauties, and when I read to them picking out a book and us getting in the bed to read the book is like the highlight. It's like the best time before bedtime. So that
Uh-huh.
experience, and they crack open that book with my grandbeauty, Mina, when she opens the book, it's like, like that's like that's a lot to live up to. You know what I mean? Like, the not only just the illustration, but like you said, the magic in the story.
You nailed it. It is an experience. Disney has set the bar very high. And so there are so many incredible authors out there. Some of my favorites are Crystal Swain Bates, Derek Lewis. I mean, there are some really incredible authors out there that are setting the bar high, that are, changing the narrative, that are really influencing children and giving them the confidence that they can write themselves. With all that being said, when you sit down to write a children's book, you really do have to be very thoughtful. You have to be mindful of the age bracket. So you don't want to be too fancy with a whole bunch of big words. You have to be, oftentimes people will rhyme in books. I mean, Dr. Seuss was a genius at doing that. It can be, because you have to find these words that are kid friendly and that are on their level and that are understandable, but you still have to give them a message, one that the parent is going to appreciate and that the child is going to get excited about.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. I don't know if I've ever thought about writing a children's book that way. I never thought, because
Yeah.
like I said, when most people talk about writing a children's book or their children writing a book, it always starts with, does anyone know a good illustrator? It's just very superficial. What you're telling us
Yeah.
is that we really have a lot of work to do. We have to start with the idea, the theme, the outline, and really understand what it is that we're writing before we even get to thinking about bringing it to life. We have to have an amazing story to bring to life. So Terry
Yeah.
King Hunt has a question. She wants to know, what's the key that causes a book to stand out, would you say?
Hi there, Terry. So one of the big things that causes a book to stand out is going to be your synopsis on the back, which is a short 1 or 2 line about what the book's about. So you want to capture that entire book in just those 2 lines. It can be very tricky, but if you're able to do it correctly, then it really grabs the attention of the parent. But here's the thing: before you get the attention of the parents, you have to get the attention of the child, right? So your cover is really going to be the second thing, and probably the most important of the two that's going to really stand out, because a child, they're always moving. They don't stop. So they literally will walk past your book and see it in just a matter of seconds. And in that amount of, 3 to 5 seconds, they have to decide whether or not it's something that they're going to grab off the shelf or not. And the parent has to have that same feeling if they're shopping for their child.
It's so true. I mean, while you're speaking, I just remember doing the Barnes and Noble story times with my children. All 3 of my kids, they were all so small. I remember, and they would literally, we have every week because they each would want have like 7 or 8 books, and I'm like, did you even open the book? No, it was just all about what the
Nope.
covers were, unless they were reading like it was a series and they wanted the next couple books in the series. But I just know that they would just grab the cover, the most, the end caps and like whatever looked really amazing. It was like, I don't know what that is, but he has a sword, like they would just mesmerized by the story that was being told by the cover of the book and even the back of the book, and then the first thing I would do as a parent is read the back and be like, okay, let me see if this is appropriate and what is this, so that's how you hit it right there. Absolutely. Yes, she said grammatical errors are unacceptable. Absolutely.
Right,
So
girl.
so Terry also wants to know, what makes a manuscript stand out to a publisher? That's a great. Terry came ready, honey. I told her to get a pen. She was like, "Listen, opportunity is knocking."
So if you heard earlier, it's going to be those things that I mentioned earlier. Definitely your theme. So what is the message in your book? And here's the thing. So publishers are, especially if you're talking about a really large publisher like your Random House or your Penguin or something along those lines, someone that you would generally get a literary agent to get access to those particular publishers, they are looking for what sells. That's the bottom line. They are looking for what is trending, what is current. I will tell you some of the things that you want to be mindful of when writing your book is to not use too much of the current lingo, be mindful of just keeping the book modest in terms of the clothing and things of that nature, because that can easily date your book, and you definitely don't want to do that, because that right there can definitely be a turnoff for any publisher, because they're going to know that, you know, in a year that term, that lingo that's current now is not going to be in a year or two from now, and that's going to age your book and make it not so popular for the long-term success of it.
That's good. That's great. Those are great tips. So I hope you guys are getting great value from this conversation. I'm just double checking the comments to see. So I know, listen, I see some of you. I see Trenda, I see Hilda, I see Tara, I see Chanel. Hey, everyone. Hey. I see Letitia. I see Shiva. Of course, Terry's here. We're going to call you Terry with the questions. Make sure you guys go ahead, please, and share this video out. I'm sure there are some people in your communities, in your circle that would love this information. She said, come through, Terry. You're asking excellent questions. She is. If this was Be Live, I would have like posted your question up at the top, Terry, so everyone can see it. You get a gold star. So make sure you guys share this video out. So this broadcast out, rather. So, okay. So I want to know, tell us about anything exciting you have coming up, all these amazing things. I know the publishing company is hot. Yes. And I'm so excited about that. So I know you have some things that you've been holding on to. So share with us about all the good things that are happening right now with you and your business and your family and anything else you want to share. And then we're gonna come back to the books.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So I would say the biggest hot topic that is happening in my home right now is my next book. So that one is coming out. It's dropping on October the 21st, and it's called My Daddy the Coach. Yes, I am so excited. I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm gonna share that for you guys in the comments really quick. Go ahead.
Thank you. So just the next thing that I have going on for those in the RVA area, I am at Yoga Joy this upcoming weekend, or excuse me, the weekend of the 28th. So next Saturday, I am there hosting a paint party. So for all my little princesses, make sure you guys come out. We're going to have a paint party with a hair with flair theme behind it. And what else do I have going on?
And is that in the Virginia area? Where's that?
That's in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, and Yoga Joy is actually at the Short Pump Mall.
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
And
all right.
Let's see. And also, I am going to another event at that same day at 2 p.m. at Rockwood Park. And that's going to be a slang event that is for kids empowerment for youth. So I'll be a vendor out there. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you guys, signing some books, and meeting some kids.
That's awesome. I love it. And the reason why this conversation is so, not only did you give us like some really good information, some tips for everyone that's in the, that's watching and listening, because I know a lot of people, like you said, books every 5 minutes, right? But what I'm really committed to doing is making sure that those people that are connected to me, that are in my community, do what they want to do what their heart desires, but learn how to do it right. Learn how to do it right. I don't want anyone putting a lot of time, energy, and effort into things that aren't going to bear any fruit. So speaking of using a book to bear fruit, I want to talk to you, everyone, about the Visionary Author Summit. So Audrey, can you share us a little bit about the summit?
Yeah, so I am a part of the Visionary Author Summit as an ambassador. So I will be working behind the scenes and seeing many of the faces that are going to be there. I am so excited. So what attracted me to the Visionary Author Summit is definitely the idea that these are entrepreneurs, authors that are already established, that are really making a difference in the community and that are pouring back into those that want to rise as authors, those that want to rise as entrepreneurs. So often as authors, we forget that we're a business. We think we write the book and that's it. But what happens once the book is written? What happens even before the book is actually published? There is a whole process leading up to it. There's marketing. There's marketing, as you know all too well. There's marketing. There is branding. There is y'all know you need to have tax forms. I mean, it is a whole business. You are now a business when you're an author. And that is so easily and so often overlooked. So this is going to be a great place to learn how to not only carry yourself as that, author that's really putting a positive and wonderful message out there in the community, whether it's a children's book or a book for adults, but it's also going to be a place that you can learn how to grow and connect. And that's the other big piece of it for me, is the power of connections. There are going to be so many individuals there and that want to share information with you. And one thing I have learned in my journey as an author and publisher is that relationships are key. They are key.
Yes.
There are so many other people. You need a team. Guys, you need a team. It is not, Audrey is not a one-woman show. There are people that are helping me execute, and you're going to run into several of these experts right into the Visionary Authors Summit. So if you are thinking about writing a book, and let me just pause there for a second, because you see, I thought about writing a book for about 12 years before I finally did it, which is ridiculous.
But it's reality. It's so many people's reality.
Listen, everything in the world just got in the way. Oh, I'm a mom. Oh, I'm in school. Oh, I have a job. It's so easy to make excuse after excuse, and then you just decide to make a decision, and you just decide to propel forward, and you will find that you will start getting blessings like crazy, and people will start gravitating towards you, and you will find that you are going to be influencing others.
That's it.
Well, if you're going to be an influencer, you have to have the information. If you're thinking about writing a book, get your behind to the Visionary Author Summit. It's a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. Listen, I listen.
If you're not there, I don't know where you are. Like, I'm going to be there.
I love it. I love it. That she said, if you're not there, I don't know where you are. So the thing is that writing a book is one thing, but consistently generating income or revenue from that book, that's a whole different story, right? So I actually will be at the Visionary Author Summit because I'm going to be a speaker. And she hit the nail on the head when she said influence. So what I'm going to be, when I take the stage, I'm going to be speaking to all the authors there, wannabe authors, people that are working on their actual manuscript in the moment that weekend of October 24th to 26th. I'm going to be talking to them about using their book to become the authority, to become the news, to become that influencer, right? Many of us are following and watching other people, and they don't realize that once you get your story out and your story is told, you then position yourself to become the authority. So that's I'm really excited to meet you there, and also to be there with
Thank you.
Audra and the whole team. It's going to be amazing. So if anybody's going to be in the area, or if you're looking to come to the area and meet us, the two of us in Virginia, we were going to be there at the Visionary Author Summit, October 24th, 25th, and for the overachieving action takers, also on the 26th, which is the VIP day. It's going to be amazing. So let me see. So I'm going to go back to the chat really quick. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone. I feel like, you got these people on fire. They're asking questions. Absolutely. I can post a link to the summit. I'll do that for you right now. And this is, here you go. I'll post a link. Terry said, I want to come. Listen, it's going to be amazing.
Girl, I can't meet you.
Then you could ask questions in person, Terry. See that?
Terry, listen, I'm gonna be there answering questions and everything, girl.
Okay, so Letitia Jordan, she has a question. She wants to know what's the average cost, would you say an illustrator might run someone?
Ooh, so
like
illustrators, it just depends on where you go. I have found some as low as $500 to $600, $700, and then I found them as expensive as $2,200. So it depends on several things. One is going to depend on their level of experience. If they have been illustrating for a while, if they are doing, large books and working with big publishing companies, then most likely they're going to be your more expensive ones. And also it depends on how many illustrations that you're looking to do. Most people do a double page spread, which means it is one large picture that's going to spread across both pages. So that's essentially considered one picture. Other people decide to do something that is more non-traditional, which is doing a different illustration on each page. I don't necessarily recommend that unless you're doing like a book of poetry or something along those lines, because one, it's going to cost you twice as much, and two, it's really not going to flow and transition from page to page, especially when you're reading it aloud. And then the third option for your illustrations, you can always have the words on one side and just have like it on a colored piece of paper, and then your illustration on the other side. That way you'll only need half of the illustration. So it really breaks down to what exactly you're looking for. But I mean, it can go as low as $500-$600, but I can guarantee you it can get up there to several thousand as well, depending on the experience level.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. And also like the length of the book, I'm assuming that would have a lot to do with it.
Oh,
and how
absolutely.
many illustrations you need. Yeah, that's awesome. So let me see, I missed one. Letitia. Oh no, Terry asked about, is there an average, I should have silenced my laptop. Is there an average length of a children's book? Like what's the average length?
Terry, girl, you on fire. She is asking some awesome questions. So Terry, I think is going to be somewhere between 28 and 32 pages, ideally 28. And the reason being is the attention span of a child. They generally are not going to sit still, but for so long. So 28 pages generally is your sweet spot. And on those 28 pages, you want to do 1 to 2 or 3 sentences.
Awesome. Any advice on the most advantageous time to release a book?
You know what? It's so funny you should ask. So, initially, you can definitely pre-plan it, and I recommend that you pre-plan it. I recommend that you do pre-sales for your book, so and that you start marketing it as soon as possible. So hypothetically, if you're doing a book that's centered around moms, you may want to consider dropping it a couple of weeks or even as much as a month before Mother's Day. Same thing for dads. You may want to think about something like that. So there is a holiday for just about everything. Like today, I don't know if you knew, but it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. So with that, it's Talk Like a Pirate. I don't even know what that's about.
That's hilarious. But there is a day for everything. I swear there is.
You can always find a celebratory reason to drop your book. It can be your birthday. I've had a lot of people, especially with children's books, that want to center it around their child's birthday, and they're literally giving them out at children's birthday parties. I say, it's like that person that's looking for the perfect time to have a child. There is no perfect time.
Just do it. Just do it. Go for it. Take the risk and make a big deal out of it. How about that? I love it. And I would assume it's similar from dropping multiple books. Or do you I'm assuming you would have to have some time in between, because each book deserves a whole full launch process and, the promotional piece.
Well, there's 2 pieces to that. So that was my original thought process. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to plan these things out about 3 months, apart from one another, so they can, like you said, each one gets their own glory. I would say at this point, I've now cut that length of time down to about 6 to 8 weeks. And here's why. Yeah, here's why. Well, first of all, with Amazon especially, your sweet spot is in that first week. So that's when you really want to drive sales to Amazon, because that's your highest chance for getting a bestseller. It's not your only chance, but it's your highest opportunity for getting a bestseller on Amazon. So you want to keep the momentum going as long as you can, but don't continue to sit on ideas because you're just sitting on money. If you have more ideas, go ahead and get them out there, because listen, what if no one finds you from your first book, but they find you from your second? What if they don't find you from your second, but they find you from your third? And I just heard Crystal Swain Bates say that very thing, and she is a huge author that's in Forbes and been on CNN, so she's huge. So if she's cranking them out 6 to 8 weeks, then I'm cranking them out 6 to 8 weeks.
I know that's right. Hey. If it's good enough, right? I love it. I love it. So, Audrey, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, please. How can they follow up with you? How can they learn more about all the exciting things you have going on with your publishing company?
Absolutely. So you can find me at audreyhimes.com. My last name is spelled Hind, like David S. So audreyhimes.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Audrey Himes, the author. And then on Instagram, I'm Audrey Himes. It's nothing fancy. I made it easy for you guys to find me.
Perfect. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. I love it. So I'm going to drop that in the comments for you all as well. And I really want to encourage any of you that are considering writing a book, in the middle of writing a book, if you're like, Audrey, old Audrey, and you have a manuscript you've been sitting on for 12 years, now is the time. Now is the time. And like I said before, writing a book is one thing, but actually allowing that book to catapult you to another level. And like you just heard our guest say, that once you write your book, you're technically in business, but you need to learn how to navigate that business. You need to know how to launch that business. You need to know how to move within that business. And then you need to learn how to profit from that business. So if that sounds like you, if it sounds like, something that you're wanting to do, something that you're stuck on, if you are an author, wannabe author, a visionary, we're inviting you to join us at the Visionary Author Summit at the Delta Hotel by Marriott in Chesapeake, Virginia. And that's taking place October 24th and the 25th. And like I said, for the action takers, also on the 26th, I will be there for probably about a week. So come hang out with me. Let me know, hit me up. If you're going to be in the area, let's do lunch or whatever. Lunch or brunch, we'll see. And you're going to just be connected to some of the most brightest and amazing minds in writing for just one weekend alone. Okay. So I promise you, it will definitely be worth your time, and you're going to learn so much, because we're not just talking about writing. We're not just talking about dreaming. We're not just talking about publishing. We're talking about all that and more, and also how you can turn your book into a business. Okay. Any last words, Audrey?
No, you summed it up beautifully just then. I think the biggest thing that I would share is, like you said, just stop waiting on that idea. Go ahead and make your dreams come true. And for me, an event is what fired me up to write this book, guys. An event back in January is what I did. I attended an event, and it fired me up to write the book. It's now a bestseller. It's sold out at Barnes & Noble during an event, and I've been nominated for a magazine award. I only share that to say, y'all, I've been sitting around for 12 years. Don't make that mistake.
I love it. She's like, don't be like me. Don't be like old Audrey. Be like new Audrey. I love it. And then you wait till I see you in Virginia. I'll be like, well, hold on, new Audrey or old Audrey? New Audrey, right?
Right. I'm gonna make sure the new one show up.
All right. Listen, I want to thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy. I know you have the kids and hubby, and it's past bedtime. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to pour into my community. Thank you for every single tip you gave. Everybody in the comments, they're saying, oh, they actually congratulated you. They're saying congratulations to you, and they're also saying that you really helped them out. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm so happy to, like I said, I've been anxious for a week now. So thank you guys so much for having me in this wonderful community. Guys, you just keep growing and keep learning from this incredible mogul and entrepreneur.
Thank you, lady. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you in Virginia.
Yeah, you will. Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.